Hello, Whovians and my fellow subscribers, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the first story of Doctor Who Season 15, which is Tom Baker's fourth season in the role. And the story is The Horror of Fang Rock. And the story also stars Louise Jameson as Leela, and the basic plot of the story is as follows. The cursed island of Fang Rock off the south coast of England is a place of rumour and tales of beasts from the sea. Three lighthouse men at the turn of the century face their fears when something comes from the sea to bring death to all it touches. And that is basically the basic premise of this story. Okay, The Horror of Fang Rock, another story that is regarded as a classic, and yeah, I can see why. This is a really good story. I don't know if I could call it perfect, but I will definitely say it was very good. And there was such a great atmosphere about this story. It's all set in at night time. It's set in the dark, and there's a big sense of mystery. The reveal of the Rutons, the Ruton host, doesn't come until very late into the story. I mean, some people may have an issue with that. Some people may feel that it takes too long to reveal the true antagonist of the story, but I didn't mind that. In this case, it actually worked. There was a nice build-up, and there was a lot of tension. There's a lot of death in this story. It is a dark story, and I think that works in its favour this time. And it was a very scary Doctor Who story, so I appreciate that. I think the script is very strong by Terrance Dicks. He wrote a very compelling Doctor Who story, and it kept me interested. It was 4 parts, and it breezed by. It didn't drag. It is a talky story. There's a lot going on, but it doesn't feel like it's dragging on. They're always, they're not just sitting down and randomly talking. There is suspense. There is tension, especially when we get the the rich people that come in to the story as well. Lord Hammerdale, James Skinsale, and Adelaide Lesage. They're all very good characters, although, sadly, they don't last very long, like most of the people in this story. But I really like the characters of the lighthouse men, Reuben, Vince, and Ben. Ben is the one who we don't see much of, but because he dies very early on. Vince is quite good. He's the youngish one, and then Reuben is the older fella. And they all talk like they're from Somerset, like this, with this accent, and that's quite amusing, and it adds a bit of charm to the piece as well. Tom Baker is the Doctor. He's very good in this story. I mean, he's always good, but Tom Baker isn't playing too much humour this time. He's very serious in this story, and that's perhaps my one criticism of this story, is that it does feel rather humorless. I'm okay with the dark story, but I think to diffuse some of the tension, it would have helped for the Doctor to have just a tiny bit more humour, but it's not really a major complaint, because I do like the serious tone of this story, and I do think it actually works in its favour. Leela. Louise Jameson is once again great as Leela. She's really taking charge now, and she threatens to cut a guy's heart out at one point. I mean, she's pretty ruthless. I mean, well, what do you expect? It belongs to a savage tribe. But she's also developing a bit more of a rapport with the Doctor, and she's also starting to understand his world and his life. She's adapting to everywhere she goes now. Because whereas in the Talons of Weng Chiang, she had to kind of learn the Victorian English customs and how women were meant to behave, and she just didn't understand that, which was kind of amusing. Direction by Paddy Russell is very good. Paddy Russell does a great job directing, and there is a nice sense of claustrophobia about this story, because the set of the lighthouse is set in the lighthouse for the whole story. They very rarely go outside of the lighthouse, and that really adds to the tension, I think. And the set is very good, and I like the fact that it's set in a lighthouse. It also adds that sense of confinement, and again, it adds to the tension of the story. So great job there. I forgot to mention in my previous review that it was the end of the Philip Hinchcliffe era. Philip Hinchcliffe produced the first 3 seasons of Tom Baker, but sadly, due to some rather unfortunate complaints about the show being too dark, the decision was made to let Hinchcliffe go onto another show. They didn't sack him or anything. They just transferred him to another show on the BBC, which was a real shame, really, because I thought what he did for the show was really good after Pertwee left. He really re-injected life into the show. Barry Letts had been producing the show for 5 years, and it was time for some fresh blood. I think it was a bit too early to get rid of Hinchcliffe, but, you know, I think, judging from this one story, Graham Williams, he's going to be a good producer. So I look forward to seeing what else he's got coming in the next 3 seasons. And then, of course, we'll get to J&T later. But, yeah, no, and this is the 90-second story, so it does feel very good, and it feels very, very fresh. And I like the design of the Rutan. It's this kind of small green, like round, it almost kind of looks like a bit of a brain, really, and it just crawls on the floor, and it has that really scary voice, which I liked. I mean, it does take a while to reveal the Rutan and whatnot, but I don't mind that for this story. I think it works. It adds a lot of suspense and tension, and the climactic sequence of the story is very good, I think, and really holds up, the Rutan and whatnot. But I don't mind that for this story. I think it works. It adds a lot of suspense and tension, and the climactic sequence of the story is very good, I think, and really holds up. Yeah, I mean, I do see why people really like this story. I just don't think it's perfect. That's my one complaint. I just would have liked it to feel a bit more humorous. It is very grim and it's very dark. So if that turns you off from the story, then fine. I mean, my friend Alan Kalo isn't particularly hot on this story, which is fair enough. I respect his opinion. But I really liked it for what it was, but I just felt it needed a bit more light relief. That's all I'll say. But I like the music by Dudley Simpson. He does a great job with the music, and it's a fun story. It moves along fine. It's 4 parts. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I will say it's a very good story, and it's what the show really should be. And there's also a funny thing about this story. Louise Jameson was wearing brown contact lenses for this story for some reason. I don't quite know why. And then in the end of the story, there's a moment where she says she's blind, that she can't see, and then the doctor tells her to blink and whatnot, and then she gets her vision back, and then her eyes change back to blue. And yeah, that's just a little thing just to fix that problem, because she didn't want to go through the rest of the series wearing those contact lenses. So that was a kind of interesting fact that I found out recently. So just to wrap it up, I will give this story, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I think, yeah, 9 out of 10. Yeah, I really liked it. It was a very, very good story. Very good story. Okay, that's it for that. I'm sorry it was a bit brief, but I mean, there's not a lot to say with this one. And I think that's, you know, like I said, the supporting cast do a good job as well. So next time on Doctor Who Review, we look at the Invisible Enemy, which is going to be our introduction to everyone's favourite tin dog, K9. Yay! Woo! Thank fuck. I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun. So yes, what do you think of the horror of Fang Rock? Please comment down below, let me know what you think, and stay tuned for my review of the Invisible Enemy. So until next time, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See you soon.